Yeah. 3,000 grinders, yeah, we climb so high. Splitting quality every day, reaching for the sky. Gaming world, beware, we got the winning vibe. Grinding through the night, can you feel the tribe? Controller in my hand, can't slow down this flow. Leveling up fast with every game show. Top the leaderboards, yeah, watch the numbers rise. Eyes on the prize, we're aiming for the skies. We're grinding games all night, all day. From zero to hero, we'll pave the way. 3,000 strong, we celebrate. Grinding hard for a future great. Every click, every move, we break the mold. Adventures and pixel stories unfold. Together we conquer, nothing to fear. 3,000 grinders, let them hear. Wake up, game on, we never quit the race. Pushing the limits at a breakneck pace. Victory tastes sweet, fortune we chase. 3,000 grinders, we own this space. We're grinding games all night, all day. From zero to hero, we'll pave the way. 3,000 strong, we celebrate. Grinding hard for a future great. Wake up, game on, we never quit the race. Pushing the limits at a breakneck pace. Victory tastes sweet, fortune we chase. 3,000 grinders, we own this space. We're grinding games all night, all day. From zero to hero, we'll pave the way. 3,000 strong, we celebrate. Grinding hard for a future great. Every click, every move, we break the mold. Adventures and pixel stories unfold. Together we conquer, nothing to fear. Grinding hard for a future great. 3,000 grinders, we own this space. 3,000 grinders, we own this space. Console wars are heating up, the stakes are high. Xbox games on PlayStation makes the gamers sigh. Halo meets Uncharted, Master Chief's on new turf. Cross the lines, we're charting gaming gold and mirth. Gears of War on DualShock, Marcus Phoenix takes a dive, busting barriers in shock. Feel the worlds collide. Competition crumbled, walls of brand they fall. Exclusive grip has fumbled, now we've got it all. Halo meets Uncharted, Master Chief's on new turf. Cross the lines, we're charting gaming gold and mirth. Fable made the journey to a land of PS dreams. Hero Nothing's as it seems. Fable made the journey to a land of PS dreams. Heroes on a quest so funny. Nothing's as it seems. Halo meets Uncharted. Master Chief's on new turf. Cross the lines, we're charted. Gaming gold and mirth. Halo meets Uncharted. Master Chief's on new turf. Cross the lines, we're charted. Gaining gold and mirth. Gaining gold and mirth.
Usually 30 frames, they tell us it's the best you'll ever see. On the series Xbox, baby, not on PC, none of free. Lazy developers, they claim faster here than on a tower, but we gamers know the truth, PC's got the real power. Juicy 30 frames, oh my, can't believe my own two eyes. While they hype and they entice, we all need that smooth device. Promises are fluid scenes, but it's not what it seems. Fighting for those golden dreams, need more than 30 screams. They push and they assure us hit that smoothness, not a glitch. But we see through the facade, PC gaming still the pitch. Oh, the jokes just keep on coming, we all laugh into the night. Juicy 30, they can keep it, PC wins this epic fight. Juicy 30 frames, oh my, can't believe my own two eyes. While they hype and they entice, we all need a smooth device. Juicy 30 frames, they tell us it's the best you'll ever see. On the series Xbox, baby, not on PC, no free. Crazy developers, they claim faster here than on the tower, but we gamers know the truth, PC's got the real power. Juicy 30 frames, oh my, can't believe my own two eyes. While they hype and they entice, we all need that smooth device. Promises are fluid scenes, but it's not what it seems. Fighting for those golden dreams, need more than 30 it screams. They push and they assure us hit that smoothness, not a glitch. But we see through the facade, PC gaming still the pitch. Promises are fluid scenes, but it's not what it seems. Fighting for those golden dreams, need more than 30 it screams. They push and they assure us hit that smoothness, not a glitch. But we see through the facade, PC gaming still the pitch. Promises are fluid scenes, but it's not what it seems. Fighting for those golden dreams, need more than 30 it screams. Fighting for those golden dreams, need more than 30 it screams. Fighting for those golden dreams, need more than 30 it screams. They keep pushing, they assure us that that smoothness not a glitch. But we see through the facade, PC gaming still the pitch. Oh, the jokes just keep on coming, we all laugh into the night. Juicy 30, they can keep it, PC 30, they can keep it, PC 30, they can keep it, PC wins this epic fight. PC wins this epic fight. They push and they assure us hit that smoothness, not a glitch. But we see through the facade, PC gaming still the pitch. All the jokes just keep on coming, we all laugh into the night. Juicy 30, they can keep it, PC wins this epic fight.
Yo, what's up, grinders? How you doing? Yes, it is a special Sunday Grinds Gaming Bite. Just, I was reading some articles, reading some of the comments from Friday's show and stuff, and I wanted to just to kind of just have a chat and talk about this this Steam OS and Windows, and kind of a spin-off of what we were talking about on Friday with some of the things about this whole handheld adventure that is going on. So, grinders, hit that like button. We're going to be cooking today. Let me make sure my audio, everything is good. There we go. That is good. Shout out to everybody coming on in here. Ron M, Michael, Mango, Buck Rogers. How you doing? Harry Tran in the house. The Cool 1985. Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's doing well. Hit that like button, and we're gonna be get some cooking going on here. But yeah, like, so just wanted to get into some of these things that we've been talking about and going around, you know, in this handheld. And I know we've been talking about it a couple of times about the handheld, and as you know, and many of you do have them, you know, the experience of these handheld devices and things like that, and what the you know, and what this new kind of form factor of PC gaming, because that's what it is. It's nothing new. It's just that, you know, it's just a different form factor, just like how gaming laptops were a different form factor and a different mobility given to PC gaming and things like that. And you know, and what the SteamOS is going to do. Shout out to Ron M with the 5 VIPs. We're getting that next emoji, as you know. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Shout out to Ron M with the VIPs there. As we are chipping away at these VIPs, which I believe from the other one, we're going to do that 13. We are 77 away from the next emoji. Give or take here or there, but we are now getting emojis, and you're going to vote on 3 of them. We have the 3 of them: the Juicy, the Berry, and the Sony FAFO ones. So we'll definitely, I'll touch into those as we get into the show. You know, you'll be voting on the next emojis. They're here. I'll just show you them now without the music. You got your Juicy Glazed next emoji, the next one, Bury It in the ET hole, and the Sony FAFO with the Sony with a switch, Astrobot with a switch in his hand. Oh man. So yeah, those are the ones, and they also have their little jingles, which I'll be playing later. But thank you, Ron M. I appreciate it. As we chip away and head to the VIP next emoji, they're extra juicy, Buck Rogers says on there. So yeah, so the article. So I think it was Josh. Josh wrote in the chat in one of the last on the last show about you know, hey, let me see if I can pull up what I think Josh has wrote that in the chat on my last one. And I was writing, I was like, you know what? Let's talk about this. I wanted to expand upon this because I read an article about there was a few months ago, but then it came back up in my feed again, and I was reading it again, and how Windows is just scared of SteamOS, and we've talked about it a couple of times here about ET and Xbox better together, and about how this has got to be kind of the worst time for Microsoft right now, especially Microsoft Gaming. It's got to be a very, very challenging time with the sense of their console market is dwindling, as they're trying to use Game Pass and their services as a bridge to move whatever's left on console to somewhat play on PC, where they will hope you go, or probably to switch a PlayStation, but they probably want to keep you within the Windows world. And there was a lot of talk from our good friend Xbox Gandalf. You know our good friend Xbox Gandalf. There he is. The boss of Next Gen Gaming, or whatever, the vice president of Next Gen Gaming, whatever the hell he is. The most generic name. He's the vice president of Next Generation. Dude, I wouldn't want that title. I'll tell you that right now, because that is definitely a generic name, because who the hell knows what the hell that means. But he came at CES when they were talking about this whole Lenovo. He was going to be there with Lenovo and the whole rollout of these new handhelds, which, by the way, the Legion Go S using the Zen 2 bootleg version, 25% weaker than the 2-year-old Zen 1 Extreme, and still at a hefty price of like $700 for less performance and controls that don't get removed. So everybody's like, just go buy the old Legion Go, which yet again, I don't know how you come out with something new, but it's worse than what's been out for over a year and a half. But it seems to be the strategy that they're doing. But like I said before, the venture that they are trying to, the console market is dwindling, and now they're trying to get into this PC handheld space, which, by the way, it's been 2 years, over 2 years, trying to get into this thing. And SteamOS. Start knocking on the door. What is SteamOS? We'll talk about it. SteamOS. We'll look into more about it. Knocking on the door. The Switch 2 portable handheld coming out after years of Switch. Switch 2 is coming out. Like, this is not the time to start poking around in handheld ventures. But they are. And it is a bad time. Like, they're between a rock and a hard place right now. And scrambling around with AI, Windows on ARM, with Snapdragons not doing too well. And the reason why this comes into gaming is because Xbox got pulled into all this failure of Windows. And I think the failure of Windows, the failure of AI, cloud, all the things that Satya wanted to push, he has rolled up Xbox into a tinfoil ball and thrown it into the wild. And they abandoned the thing that they spent 20 plus years building. And it's all into these failed ventures. It was Kinect started it. It was Kinect. It was AI. It was cloud. It was AI. It was Windows Store. The Windows Store failed. They put games on Steam because nobody wanted to go to Windows Store and still don't. Spinning off apps. All these things. Their failed venture in mobile. All these places with consumer electronics and consumerism, they fail. They do not know how to engage with the consumer. They're just kind of a vestigial organ of business that people just know and use as compatibility. And that compatibility has hurt them in Windows because every time they try to do something, they break things. And then people can't function. And then they know that they deal with Windows because Windows just is the de facto operating system that just runs everything and has this huge legacy. So whenever they try to update something and move things around, they fall flat on their face because they don't have anything else going for them except that compatibility. So people just, quote, put up with it. And they thought that they were going to do this in handheld. People just put up with Windows. But no. The Steam Deck came out and showed how to consolfy the PC gaming experience through a simplistic Linux-based operating system that ran on Proton to kind of get those simulations of Windows applications and compatibility. But in the forefront was a gaming-focused operating system with Steam at the helm. And it's the most consolfied and optimized for battery. It doesn't have the highest specs. It doesn't have the most bleeding edge processes. It doesn't. But what it has is efficiency and reliability. And probably the best mobile experience that you could have in a PC type, quote, handheld. And it has to do with the operating system and the software. Similar to like how an Apple operates. So an Apple kind of, they have their own stuff, but if you look at it comparable what you're paying for versus what the power to what you're getting and other things, it's always like Apple seems to be, it's not the most powerful, but it's the most optimized. And Microsoft is just all over the place right now with things. Their AI venture is not really, there's competition breathing down their neck every single way. Everybody else is using AI, and Microsoft's fumbled with the whole AI will follow your history. Game Pass, a thing that's been around since 2016. Put all our games in a service day one. How does that done? Growing is a snail's pace. The only place they're growing, or they had growth in the last 2 years, was on Windows because it is the only thing that's $11 a month rather than $20. Their mobile venture with Microsoft apps, trying to put their app on everything, Xbox Game Pass app. Well, one of the things that you could just see how, again, another kind of consolidation, another changed venture. Microsoft posts a farewell message as Game Pass mobile app goes offline. So no longer on iPhone and Android will the Game Pass app exist. Now it's just the Xbox app. They now thrown Game Pass. They didn't have their own app anymore. So now it's gone. Adios, they say. Adios. Sayonara. Goodbye.
I have an exciting life now. Breakfast to go. You're gonna love my nuts. Watch this.
It's done. No more Xbox Game Pass app. Instead, it's now just the Xbox app. And Game Pass is now buried inside of the Xbox app. So now if you just want to play Game Pass, now you got to go through the thing. So here, the Xbox Game Pass app features have been moved over to the main mobile Xbox app now. So users are still getting the functionality on Android and iOS, but here has Microsoft explained those changes last year. Key features: the ability to explore Game Pass and manage your membership will now be found in one place in the Xbox app on mobile. You'll be able to browse the full Game Pass catalog to find your favorite games and stay in the loop. If you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, you'll be able to view and claim your perks as part of these changes. We will no longer support new downloads of the Xbox Game Pass app starting in November. Of course, this new way of doing things may be a bit of a pain if you just want to access your Xbox Game Pass information rather than everything to do with Xbox, but it's a minor inconvenience. We will still use the mobile app for Game Pass stuff pretty frequently, especially when we want to pre-install games linked to the console. So, no more apps for Game Pass. It's just now put in the Xbox app, which is similar to what they want to do with Windows. All one app. Xbox has been put into just one app, and that's it. On mobile and now on Windows. This is what they're doing. They're consolidating it all. The vestigial organ. And why I bring up the Xbox app is because the Xbox app is Xbox. That is it. That is their thing that they're going to use to try to tap in to gaming on Windows. This is what they're doing. They are going to use whatever's left of Xbox, turn it into an app, and evolve that app into a front end to launch your games on your PC, a place to get your Game Pass subscription games, a place to see your Game Pass friends. And they are basically taking those 20 years of console stuff and trying to pick what they can and use the Game Pass app. However, they got a lot of challenges ahead of them. Nonetheless, the big daddy is in Steam and the Steam OS. But they're going to try to manipulate people in the sense of convincing them that Xbox app is Xbox. And that's what they're going to use as the transition to move people from the console to PC, or to try to make it as seamless as possible. But again, the other biggest problem, everybody, is that they are not having the ability to bring their games with them. Their old 360 games, the games they bought with backwards compatibility, all these things, they still have not shown that pathway. Whether it includes, I speculated emulation, that they would use emulation. They may use cloud. They may say, well, you'll have your games, but you'll have access to them via cloud, but that causes licensing and issues like that. So I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, but all I know is they're moving at a snail's pace, dude. No, it is BV. It is Xbox. It is Xbox. That's what they're going to convince. Xbox Game Pass, the app. Because Game Pass itself can't carry an app. They got to integrate it into the Xbox app. That's their unified approach. This little vestigial organ at the bottom here of an Xbox app, similar to Groove Music. What's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? Oh, I understand, Buck. Yeah, PC isn't, Apple isn't a chance for PC, but that's why this whole Steam stuff. So this is what came up here in, so earlier this year, this is where in January, Valve said that they will let you install Steam OS on other handhelds as later and then in April. So what they said is that they said that they're going to allow you to do basically what the Steam Deck does and put this on your handhelds, on your PC. And one of the designers of the Steam Deck and Steam OS tells that it's a beta. It's slated to ship in March sometime, and you may be able to discover that the OS just starts working properly if it happens. And few PC gamers have already discovered Bazite, a fork in Valve Steam development experience that they love testing on the Asus Ally. So Bazite is something else that is there. But again, it is a simplified system that removes a lot of the background processes, man, because you just go like this, Control-Alt-Delete, and go look at how much stuff is running on Windows. And when you're trying to play a game, I have something, and I'm still trying to, when I boot up my system, I'm trying to play a game, I see what's utilizing my GPU, and I'm like, what the hell is phone handler or something like that? And I'm like, I disabled Windows trying to connect to my phone, like with that whole like Android, whatever the hell that thing is. I disabled that at startup, but I don't know what the hell this phone thing that's using my GPU. It shows up in the app that's using my GPU, and I have to go into Task Manager and close it out. But that is the least of the problems. There are just so many processes and things that run on Windows, and there's so many things that take away. They tried to fix this when they were talking about the Xbox or the gaming app or something like that, gaming mode, where you flip a switch, and it basically what it does, it turns off notifications and disturbances. Oh, Razer's horrible. That's right. Skullplate. Oh, Razer takes over your goddamn computer. Goddamn, any Razer accessories and Chrome. Oh my God, Razer Chrome. Jesus. The Cortex, yes. Get rid of that shit. You install one goddamn thing. But what's unfortunate is that Microsoft been sitting on this stuff for years. And done nothing. They made little steps, little quarter measures. Oh, well, here's a gaming mode or what. It doesn't do anything, dude. It doesn't turn off background processes. It still has this weird Teams is still loading up, even though you don't want it. OneDrive is still looking. You got to uninstall it. Then they just came out with an update now where they're now forcing people to not bypass logging into Windows to use Windows. You need to have an account. People were bypassing that because they just want to test Windows on something, but Microsoft cracked it with a whip on that. They have done this. And all of these things that people have been asking for, and go watch every review of a handheld system that's running Windows, and every single review says the worst part is Windows on a handheld device. Everybody. I watch tons of reviews on anything. 1X, like everybody. ROGs, Legions, MSI, Claws, any handheld device that's running Windows, the caveat is it's Achilles heel. Windows. Oh, well, I could run all my games on here, but I have to deal with Windows and all the crap that Windows does. And the Windows 11 has not been too great. Windows 10 to Windows 11, dude, we are just using it by default for compatibility. But if there was other options out there, especially for gaming, people will move. The Odin 2, yeah, see, Skull's Playlist has the Odin 2. Hence the reason why, like, even handheld Android devices have a better experience because of the touch interface, because of because even then, you look at Windows and look at what they tried to do with tablets. They tried to tap into that iPad market with Surface and Touch and all that stuff. And look what happened to Touch. Touch became another vestigial organ of Windows 8 trying to do something. We still have these crazy things on Windows where you have settings, but then you have control panel. Control panels from legacy Windows, and then you still got your settings. Like, it still has so many duplicate and redundancy in here. Like, you could just go to settings and you have your settings menu, but then you go to control panel, and you know this, like, if you go into, and again, I don't need to do a tour of Windows for people, but if you go into installed apps, these are not all your installed apps. You know that, right? You go to install apps, that is not all your installed apps. Then you go to add or remove programs, and there's more shit in there, because you know if you install something, it's not all in there. You got to go to control panel, which is from like old school Windows. If you remember this goddamn screen, like here, this sits on top. This sits on top of your settings. So go to add and remove uninstall program, and there's a whole bunch of programs in there. These are the redundancies that just sit there, the bloatware, their own bloatware, that just sit here. And this is a vestigial organ of Windows 8 when they were trying to give you that simplified touch experience in a tablet function. But then people wanted to go back to desktop mode and just do their traditional stuff. It is confusing as hell, because you go to settings and it's like, yes, that's what Microsoft wants you to see. But you go to control panel, and that's where you can set up your real power management, your really uninstall programs, your real stuff. But this is no longer the settings. The settings are just a simplified of what they want you to see. But this is a vestigial organ of Windows 8. When they were trying to have these two interfaces, touch and traditional, and they could never decide a path. So what they do, just keep both of them in there for shit's sake. Just keep both of them in there. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. Just keep them both in there. People will figure it out. But notice on here, they can't sell you ads. They can't market stuff to you. However, you go to your control panel, you go, to your settings, and look at this hunky dory. You click on settings, and they got ads on the front. They got sign up for OneDrive, cloud storage. I'm like, I don't want it. Go to your system, go to your lock screen, and see how they tried to sell you Game Pass. Game bar disabled. I don't want that. I have a gaming tab, gaming mode, optimized for your PC. Let's go see what game mode's about, because it's been around for so long. It's been on forever, but I still have problems with it. You're like, what is this about? What is game mode about? What is it? You know what? Let's go see what they call game mode is about. It's a little mode. Here it is. Use game mode while gaming on a Windows device. When you use game mode, Windows prioritizing your gaming experience by turning things off in the background. Well, what things, Microsoft? Tell me. What things? Oh, we're not going to tell you about that. We turn off things. We prevent Windows Update from performing driver installations and sending restart notifications. Helps achieve a more stable frame rate depending on the game and system. And here are issues. Questions of Assassin's Creed Shadows and MLB The Show. Oh, no. Game mode is turned on by default. So do you think that Microsoft is really turning off what they want to turn off? You still get your ads and your suggestions for Game Pass. So yeah. What specifically? It's on by default. So do you think Microsoft is turning off all their ads and their hey, by the way, check this out. Sign up for this? No. Game mode is bull. And it's on by default. Oh, really? So you mean if I want to run off, why is it on by default? Then I know it's horseshit. Then I know it's just a click box that's not doing anything. Because I still have those processes running and game mode is on. This is their laziness. This is their attempt of foolery to pretend that you have a gaming optimized experience. When SteamOS is really giving you that because they don't have the fluff. They don't have this. They don't need to get Teams and Office 365 and all this bullshit running. They don't need to. They just have SteamOS. Play the games. Here's Steam. And then here's the back end of that. So what's Steam doing? Is Steam at a state to replace Windows 11 for gaming? There's been discussions going on about this stuff. And then we'll get into the PC article where Microsoft should be terrified of SteamOS. From PC World. SteamOS is spreading beyond Valve's hardware, and that could be a threat to Microsoft's hold on PC gaming, or even Windows' hold on the PC market. That, I think, is a little more egregious. But I think the handheld PC market is now about to be absorbed by SteamOS. That's what I think. That's right. LibreOffice, available on Linux, is making a lot of advances. Listen, I don't think it's going to replace Windows, but I think in the gaming aspect, it is definitely going to hurt Microsoft's push for Windows gaming. Which is crazy, is because now more than ever, Microsoft needs Windows gaming. They do. Now more than ever. When they had Xbox Live and they were doing games for Windows Live on PC, it was a poke and have fun side project freak show. It would have been nice if Windows Games for Live would have worked on PC. It would have been nice, but they knew they had Xbox Live and the paying customers there and consoles and stuff were driving whatever gaming they were trying to do. It was nice to try to pull in people with Xbox Live Anywhere and all this other stuff. A nice side piece. But now more than ever, grinders, they need PC gaming because it is over in the console space for them. And they are looking like a mole without a home, trying to find a new place to fester. And they are thinking that an Xbox app living on your Windows device is going to be the shelter that they're looking for. Hit that like button, grinders. Do you think the Xbox app on Windows is going to be their new home, their new nesting ground? Because they need it more than ever in order to sustain the business. And they are fighting an uphill battle. What's crazy is that they had every opportunity along the way to give it back and make it work. But they didn't. They always pussyfooted around. They always did a little check here, a little mention here. I think you'll see more, a little tease here. Did nothing. And they sat on their ass and did nothing. And now here comes Steam OS making a storefront, a buying storefront into an operating system. And Steam has experience now because they failed with the Steam boxes over 10 years ago because they didn't know the hardware. They were making goofy controller and all that other stuff. But now they made hardware and they're using Steam Deck as the leapfrog. And now Microsoft is scared because now they need PC gaming to sustain any kind of gaming, any kind of service, any kind of cloud push that they want to do with gaming. But the other people are more serious about gaming. Steam is gaming. PlayStation is gaming. Nintendo is gaming. They are gaming. Gaming is important to them. Without gaming, Steam would be like, Without gaming, Nintendo would be like, Without gaming, Sony would be like, They need gaming. That's why they make sure that what they do is gaming first. Microsoft don't give a shit about gaming. That's why you see all this poll shit around here. Oh, we're going to do a little gaming mode and the Xbox bar and we're going to do compact mode. Dude, it's all a little pussyfooting. You're taking too long. You had the opportunity. Man, you should have been ready with a Windows gaming optimized mode for the Asus ROG 1 over 2 years ago when you went out there and talked about this new handheld venture from Asus. You should have had a new update, a new experience made for the 7-inch screen. Nope. You just said big old Windows with Office 365 updates and asking me to sign up for friggin' Office and PowerPoint is the experience that I want when I boot up a 7-inch handheld device with battery life chipping away every minute. Watching 90% go down to 85% because you are trying to sell me Office 365 subscriptions as I'm trying to get to the main screen. Watching my battery just go boop, 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 boop. OneDrive is trying to connect. We can't connect to OneDrive. OneDrive is... why you waste? What are you doing? All those pings, all that Wi-Fi, the things that you're trying to do, why are you taking away? You sure you don't want the 2 trial for Office 365? Don't you want to type Word on here? A 7-inch touchscreen? Oh, let me boot up my game. Windows Firewall says, do you want to allow this game to go on your Wi-Fi? And it's like, get the mouse out. I got to click on that or touch the screen. You boot up a game and you get the Windows Security Firewall that says, excuse me, Assassin's Creed wants to get on the internet. Is that okay? And it immediately takes you out of the game. Immediately, you got to go use your finger or you got to use a mouse to hit yes. Every friggin' game I launch. And you can turn it off, but then you make your system susceptible to somebody to shit with it, to mess it up. But that's an experience that they give you. Why is that experience not streamlined? That I'm booting up a video game, just default it to take it on the internet or make it a controller prompt. Nope. It has to be a Windows pop-up. Game mode my ass.
25. It's coming.
But game mode is clicked on. What happened? Why am I getting this pop? Oh, well, Windows Firewall says you want Assassin's Creed to access the internet. This is the horse. But game mode is on. Notifications. Yeah. Go play a game and then do Control-Delete and watch all the bullshit that's running in the background. And it's not just Microsoft themselves and their Windows processes. It's not just them. It's all your other bullshit apps that are on there. 20 apps, like somebody mentioned, Razer Cortex. You want to just have the lighting. Oh, I just want my mouse pad to turn rainbow colors. Well, here's a gigabyte of goddamn application. What? And then we're going to run 25 processes in the background to make your mouse pad do rainbow colors. RGB lighting, I need a gigabyte of an app. Taking over my computer, pop-ups and notifications all over the goddamn place. I got to turn them off. And you got to do it all. But game mode is clicked. I got Windows game mode checked. This is a gaming handheld window. No, I'm sorry. Office 365, bitch. You want to do some PowerPoint on the 7-inch screen. But you have game mode checked. And one of the things that's very interesting, and I mentioned this before, hit that like button, grinders, on the Sunday afternoon grind. One of the things that was very interesting, and I mentioned this before as I get into this, is that Windows, Windows operating system was put on the ROG, the Legion Go, the MSI, and everybody had Windows on it. Then, all of a sudden this year, Steam says, no, we're going to let you do Steam OS. And you know, like, it's tough to get OEMs to embrace your operating system, especially if you have no evidence, like you have no product, like, you know, trying to get developers and OEMs on board. Well, make a device with my operating system, please, please. When they already had their first generations come out with Windows. It's very interesting to watch Lenovo and friends automatically adopt the Steam OS. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a Legion Go, that Steam version. Wow. That's pretty intense. Like, yeah, that's pretty amazing that they're already embracing this and it doesn't even have proof of concept. But yes, they do. The Steam Deck, they know, as we said, about 4 million everybody sold of all handhelds, and the Steam is like 3 million of them. The Steam Deck and its experience dominates the small handheld PC market that Microsoft is begging to try to get into with their gimped ass approach. It's pretty interesting that an OEM would automatically just adopt a new OS, take that risk, but they know that Steam OS is the thing that's making waves in the handheld space. So it's a pretty admittance that Windows ain't it. Windows, they have a better chance offering Steam OS on with their hardware, since Steam is not pumping out, since Valve is not pumping out a Steam Deck every year. These OEMs like Lenovo and Asus and all of them are like, yo, we could use our extra power and make a more powerful Steam Deck, which may be very appealing to the market. But it's pretty interesting that their second-gen devices, they're not doubling down on Windows. They're actually adding competition to Windows on the handhelds. And enough of Microsoft gets money. Microsoft can get shit from Linux. They don't get shit from SteamOS. That is a blatant Microsoft skip. SteamOS is everything Microsoft skip.
Simple as that.
And like I said before, they need this more than ever if they really want to keep any kind of gaming business alive and not shut down studios and sell off assets and sell off IP. And SteamOS is knocking on the door and already dominating in a handheld space. Switch is dominating in a handheld space. And already OEMs are like, we're going to offer a cheaper version of our hardware just with a different operating system on it. It's like Intel processors versus AMD processors. You pay a little bit more for the Intel. You pay a little bit more for the NVIDIA graphics card than the AMD one. Well, Steam is the gamer's version. You're going to pay more for Windows because guess what? This article goes into how the Steam Deck dominates PC gaming. So the big story in the last 3 years has been the Steam Deck, the low-powered, portable, relatively inexpensive machine price. Again, something market has been waiting for. Energizing PC makers to pump out imitators like the ROG and the Legion Go. But all these machines lacked a component Despite copying Steam Deck's hardware, they rely on Windows, as do most all consumer PCs not made by Apple. And Windows isn't a good experience in this form factor. They have a whole article on it, but you could go any single one. That's why Lenovo turned to Valve for its second-gen Legion Go S, or perhaps more precisely, the Legion Go S powered by Steam OS. A lot of words. But it's the first handheld officially powered by Valve's Linux-based operating system, and it's not the last. They say Lenovo is making a new Windows-based version of the same hardware, but we already heard that Asus is working. Asus? You mean the one that the portable handheld Xbox-branded Phil Ness edition? You mean Asus who's making that handheld Xbox button edition? Asus is working on a similar Steam-powered handheld. And then Valve will let you download and install builds of SteamOS later this year. And people already starting to do it. So the article goes on about the X factor of the Steam Deck's explosive popularity is the Proton compatibility, which allows games made only for Windows to run in the low-powered AMD hardware. It can't run everything, so there's some limitations. It's not all peaches and roses. But non-Steam games like Fortnite and latest AAA Polygon pushes can't run often. And Steam Deck, well, that's because of the weakness of the hardware. Also, too, there's the some of the anti-cheats and stuff like that. Windows, the de facto standard for PC gaming. Yes, Linux fans, I know you've been playing some of the games on Windows users, ditto for Mac. But when you think gaming PCs, it's Windows, obviously. What's up, Truth Serum? How you doing? Windows wobbled from 10 to 11. Windows is the home of PC gaming, at least for now and the foreseeable future, but it's not a happy home. As I said previously, handheld gaming PCs that ape the Steam Deck's hardware but run Windows often find the last point the biggest pain point for users, myself included. They complain of the inefficient use of limited hardware and nothing of how Windows just isn't easy on those small screens. And Asus, Lenovo, MSI don't have the software chops, even though they try to make what Windows should have done, for Microsoft should have done from the beginning. This is the thing. They are trying with their overlays and front ends. And Windows isn't looking so hot in general. The transition from Windows 10 to Windows 11 hasn't been the disaster of 7 to 8, but it hasn't been great. Yearly updates reliably balk some portions of the user base. Microsoft is still struggling to get people to give up Windows 10. Remember, they said they're stopping support this year on security updates. Windows 11 is struggling and falling flat. Also, Windows on ARM. Microsoft has larger generals watching the gaming market. Xbox platform and brand apparently down, even as Game Pass, quote, grows. Game Pass is pretty clearly the company's attempt at cross-platform rebirth, and the culmination of hundreds of billions invested in buying up developers and publishers to own games like Minecraft, Call of Duty, and WoW. But you can't spend money to make money forever. And gaming isn't Microsoft's only business. With all despite to sell Windows machines, 2005 is the, quote, year of the Windows 11 free refresh. Office subscriptions, AI services to enterprise. There might be too many cooks in the kitchen and too many mouths to feed all at once. And they make a good point here, which SteamOS reminds them of Android. One of the things that is very interesting is that Linux and open source is that Google developed smartphone makers to proliferate Android across mobile markets. However, Valve told them in an interview that they're not charging for SteamOS. And that might be why these OEMs are willing to take the risk. They don't have to pay Windows royalties and make us pay more money for a Windows device, and they could give back and not have to pay Steam for their OS. Similar to how Android dominated the mobile space. They just made Android out there as a true open platform. No royalties attached. Now, they may have changed this shit, but they started from grassroots. And Steam is doing it again. Steam is doing the same thing. And how they kicked Microsoft out of the mobile market and made them the third place last. Microsoft tried to compete with Android. It failed. The company essentially had to abandon its mobile space and settling for the back-end services to apps. What's up, Holomoko? Even when Microsoft tried to get an early foothold on a folding device with the Surface Duo, another fail.
The buried treasure is gemstones of
Juicy
blackberries.
Oh, juicies. The Surface Duo also failing. It tried using an Android, the thing that killed it. Isn't that funny? Microsoft's attempt for mobile was trying to embrace the people that actually kicked them out of the space. There's a Sunday thought for you. That sounds kind of familiar, right? The people who kicked them out of the space, they're trying to use them like a virus, like a leech, like a parasite, trying to jump on their coattails to try to find success. That's why I said from day one, Microsoft and Xbox will never proliferate because they are depending on somebody else's goods. They need Android. They need Google. They need Apple. They need PlayStation. They need Nintendo. They need what they once were their competition in order for them to do business because they failed at their job. They could not compete and beat them. And what's crazy is that they were the newcomers. They were the people. Steam, like they were the people that were like Microsoft has been that artifact from the beginning and could have done all this themselves. They started Groove Music and failed. Spotify took over. They started Cloud, and look at what PlayStation's doing with Cloud. Look what the GeForce is doing to Cloud. Microsoft can't, they're still in beta. They're still in beta. But we'll give you Call of Duty and GeForce. We'll give you Call of Duty and GeForce. We need you. Because we suck. They're a leech. They're a parasite. They the virus. They the Trojan horse. But they're a Trojan horse with a door open telling you exactly what's inside. Shit.
I can go directly to Black Nuts.
It sucks. They needed Black Nuts. They needed Boosteroid. Well, they never knew Black Nuts. And Phil never made a deal with Black Nuts. Cloud. He never made a deal with them. But they need them. And they milk Steam. Oh, Steam is on Windows and wonderful and all. And now Steam is coming down, Big Daddy. Now Steam is coming down, Big Daddy. Steam is big now enough to that they're going to push their own OS. Good job, Microsoft. They use you to catapult them into now something that's going to be competitive to you and skip you entirely. So what are you going to do about it? Oh, I think you'll hear more later on this year. I think we might do something with I think you might hear something later. I'm the president of Next Gen. I think there may be some news later this year. I think maybe I'm gonna tease because right now I can tease. Dude, your teasing is done. People have left. You're teasing to nobody. People have moved on. Lenovo's like, shit, we're gonna do Steam, bitch. No, we're not waiting for you to figure out compact mode, some overlays, and again, just like that little leaked picture, Grinders. The little leaked picture. Oh, yeah. Oh, put my Steam library in the Windows front end, the Xbox front end. Dude, they know nobody's going to use that Xbox app unless you're a Game Pass subscriber. And they don't have a lot of those. So the only way to get people to use that Xbox app, and this is what's kind of stemmed this conversation from Josh, it's like, why would they promote Steam? It's because nobody would use a front end Xbox front end on PC unless it could launch the games that people bought, the people play on Steam, on Epic, all the other stuff, because nobody's just going to come to your store for your Game Pass. That's all you're going to get. But the real gamers, the people that are buying the games and playing the games and huge libraries, they're the Steam players. The only way you're going to get more traction into your Xbox app is to have those people bring their libraries to launch from there. Not to run on there, but to launch from there. Because they're not just coming for Game Pass. You tried it. Were they going to the Xbox app on mobile? Nope. The only caveat that you can't have a fragmented market going to, well, this is just the Xbox app. You've tried it. It's here. It's right now. Click on it. Who? What? Yeah, it's right there. Xbox app. They try to they get you on it. They give you a monthly Game Pass. It's there. There it is. Go use it. Nobody wants it. Nobody uses it. Just like the Windows Store. It's right there. A bunch of slot machines. Goddamn Phil the Gambler. Goddamn Kenny Rogers himself. Gotta know when to roll 'em. Know when to fold 'em. Goddamn Phil the Gambler. All it is slot machines in the goddamn Windows Store. Who going in that? And grandma playing Panda Pop. Steam doing their own thing. They're pulling the Miles Morales. Nah, I'm going to do my own thing. And they're doing their own thing. And I don't think it will take over Windows Steam OS, but I think it's going to carve out the small market and build on handheld mobile gaming for PC owners. That's what I think. I think it's going to make the Steam OS is going to make a venture and carve out a small market, which they already have with the Steam Deck. And I think it's going to expand on there when these other OEMs, Microsoft's bosom buddies, such as Lenovo and Asus and Acer, all their bosom buddies, they're going to say, you know what? We're going to do our own thing too. Because don't you think this? Like I said, the second generation, Lenovo, you already had an established experience with Windows on the Legion Go. Don't you find it very particular that the second generation is like, oh no, we already had a year with you. Why don't we now take on this new operating system in SteamOS and compete against ourselves? Right? No, Lenovo's doing it because they know that they might sell more of their hardware because they're a hardware company. They may do more because there's a potential that the SteamOS, they're not waiting and seeing how the Legion Go 2 sells on Windows. No, they're like, yep, we're putting a SteamOS in there. Let them compete. And you don't think Lenovo, you don't think Asus is working on one as well. You don't think these OEMs are going to look and compare apples to apples going, wow, the Windows one, the Windows Legion was $100 more because we needed to pay Microsoft royalties. The SteamOS one, we don't have to pay for SteamOS. So that one is actually, we could offer that cheaper, a more appealing price, $100 less. Let's see how they sell. And let's see what the reviews say. SteamOS is great. SteamOS is optimized. My battery life now is almost tripled on a SteamOS as opposed to a Windows OS. Now you're going to start seeing the comparisons. Wow, my battery life. Now the company's like, wow, we could tout almost 10 hours of battery life with the Steam operating system, whereas it's only 7 hours or 6 hours with Windows. Microsoft has to fix, low battery mode, battery saver enabled. Windows still can't compete with the Steam OS. Now you're going to see apples to apples. And it's not just going to be from the sales, but it's going to be the experiences. It's going to be the same hardware, but watching Steam OS with less overhead operating better on their hardware. And what do you think Legion, what do you think Asus and Acer see when they see those reviews, when they compare those two? When they see, wow, we're getting 2 more hours of battery life on the Steam OS as opposed to Windows. The Steam OS is selling more because it's a lower price. We don't have to pay royalties. We make more money with the Steam's hardware. Windows is charging us royalties. Windows makes our hardware look gimped. Windows only is giving us 6 hours of battery life, whereas the Steam OS on the same 90-watt battery is giving us 11 hours. That is a better marketable hardware than the Windows one, and it's the same hardware. It's because Windows sucks ass. You don't think Microsoft knows this too? That's why they got Xbox Gandalf going out there teasing people. Going out there with the Merlin mask and the goddamn staff in hand. Bitch ass. What do you think he's out there for? We hear you. I know. Because they know what's coming. They know.
25.
They know what's coming, grinders. Hit that friggin' like button for Sundays. They know what's coming. They know the comparisons are coming. They know that they got a bloated operating system that is going to destroy the hardware, and Steam will just run better. And what is going to happen to their little mobile operating system? Well, we'll just stick Xbox sticker on the box.
Where that box is in the name of.
And we'll try to fool all those Xbox lovers out there that this is an Xbox.
Where that box is in
box is in the name. We'll put a little sticker on there, and that will get them. Huh? Yeah, that's what you can get them. They know what's coming. They know the comparisons. They know once these OEMs start pumping out this, or when people start putting the official Steam OS on their hardware that they had Windows running on it, Microsoft be shaking in their boots. And again, you don't think not only the reviews, but also the perception and the sales. You don't think Lenovo will be like, wow, the Steam version of our hardware is selling 2 to 1 compared to the Windows version. It's a very small market. So therefore, 100, 200 more in one way or the other is going to shift percentages very quick because it's a very small niche market. It's small, it's growing, it's small. And Microsoft right now is trying to get in that market as a scapegoat for the failure of the console. And they're trying to get in there. And I know they're glazing everybody's asses getting ready for Windows 12 push. Oh, well, Windows 12, we heard you. We're learning Windows 12 is more optimized for the smaller screen. I could see the marketing. Grinders, I'm telling you it's going to happen. Watch. Windows 12 is made for the smaller screen, and we took gaming to the next level. We're going to have just like they try to push Windows 11 with the game mode. I told you. You're still getting all the bullshit with the checkbox. But Windows 12 is really about gaming. We have optimized smaller screens and my ass. And in practice, you're going to see it's the same old Windows bullshit. The Windows game bar has been updated to 3.0 after goddamn a decade. Please. Please. Now, is it going to take over desktops? No, but this handheld shit? Exactly, Buck. The Windows 12 is what we heard. We learned and we learned. We're optimized for handheld. Click on the handheld mode and we make everything bigger. Oh, it sounds like touchscreen, right? Remember? Oh, tablet mode. Windows is tablet friendly. Touchscreen friendly. Touchscreen friendly. But this is the problem. They know it's coming and they fear it. And I'm telling you, not in the desktop space. I think that might, but who knows? It may tap into some of that too. But I think in the handheld mobile PC space, which is very small, SteamOS is going to start creeping on them. And they already lost. And then you got your Switch and you got the PlayStation Portal. And if Sony keeps evolving that thing, Microsoft already is what? 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Right, Satya? What did you say? You wanted to spend all that money to do what? To do what? You wanted to compete? Compete for what? We're talking about a free operating system. Because you'll need to partner with Valve in some capacity to get the branding. Built from the grounding PC. And grinders, what's crazy about SteamOS, if this is what it is, they're not charging royalties. What they are basically doing is consolfying the handheld PC market or whatever market that their SteamOS is on. They know that if they put out SteamOS, they could give away the operating system, just like Android did. Give it away. We'll make money from the Play Store. We'll make our money back from Steam. That is the plan. They are doing the same thing that Android did to Windows. And Windows was late to the party. Give the operating system out for free and we'll make the money from our storefront. Windows tried to do it with the Windows Store, but they suck. And the Windows Store became a vestigial organ and nobody uses it except for goddamn Phil Nest slots. But give away the operating system for free. The OEMs will eat it up. All of them will stop making Steam OS versions. And we'll just make our money back on Steam sales. They're basically doing exactly what the consoles do. Sell the console for a loss because we'll make it back on the 100% storefront. Not this 30% grab ass and not the 70% royalty fees. No, we make back 100%. PlayStation makes 100% on their games in their own store. Nintendo makes 100%. Microsoft made 100% in their store. They subsidized upfront to get you on the storefronts. But now Microsoft storefront is ass. Now they're depending on all the royalty, the royalty hand-me-outs, the percentages, because they can't sell the shit on their own place for 100% back. So now they need all the little stuff. Well, guess what happens when you're getting a little bit of piece of the pie? When you're getting a 30% or you're getting a 70% instead of 100, guess what you need to do? You need to sell more. And you're not going to sell more on your own, but you need your competition to sell for you to try to make that money back. So now your 70% to make back the once 100% from your storefront and all the purchases of third party and microtransactions, like I mentioned before on this whole Steam on your Xbox. You go buy Madden now through EA Play on your Windows PC, and you're giving all those money of those FUD cards, those mud cards, whatever the hell you're buying, all those microtransactions, all that shit in Fortnite given to the Epic Store. They're not buying it on Xbox app. They're not buying it through your store. You're not getting anything from those microtransactions. You go look at their finances and go look at what they get at 3%. Our services and content were up due to third-party spending. Well, you don't got that anymore. You start offering other people's storefronts. What happened to you? What happens to your content and services? Guess what happens? It all relies on your own shit. So have Avowed carry your ass into the next generation. Have South of Midnight hang up your goddamn Xbox straps and carry you through. Maybe Redfall could carry you to the next generation. You got to depend on your own shit. Maybe Call of Duty and we heard you and we're sorry and maybe this will work. Put it in Game Pass. All those things. Or maybe Janky Jones.
Indie's the best Xbox exclusive in years, and specifically in 3 years.
Maybe the jank will keep you. Because that's the only shit you're going to depend on because you got nothing else. Everybody's buying their stuff from other people and not from your store. SteamOS is the same thing. You only see money if they buy your games. So this is a question for the Grindhouse. Can Microsoft Gaming exist based on only their games? I know the answer. Do they? Can they exist only with their stuff? Because that's all that's left. Unless they start buying more and more publishers and just own more of the gaming divisions, they need everything relies on their games. Because they are no longer trying to sell an ecosystem. Their ecosystem fell when they put their games on Steam, when they're putting their games on PlayStation. Because the only money they get is not from just people buying third-party stuff, people buying Fortnite. No. You don't see any of that Fortnite money anymore, Microsoft. Xbox, you don't see any of that. They're giving all that money directly to Epic. Now Epic makes the 100%. You don't think Epic and Steam and all them can't wait? Oh yeah, I'll put my shit on your thing, because guess what? Everything they buy third party is going to go directly to us. We don't have to cut you in on anything. And you're putting us on more devices. Good job, Microsoft. Thank you. All you're doing is taking away from your shit. So you can't subsidize your hardware. Nor can you, because you're not getting money from any other transactions. Because if I go buy an Xbox with Steam on it, Steam gets all my money. Unless I buy a game from you. And we know that they don't make money on their own games. A lot of their content and services is based off of third-party microtransactions. Your Call of Duty battle passes, your Fortnite battle passes, all that money that you spend on your Xbox is going, Microsoft gets a cut of all those microtransactions, which is hilarious, is because that's exactly why they have a problem with Apple, because they don't want to pay Apple their cut. We want to put the Xbox store on Apple, and Apple's like, go ahead. We don't allow it, but if we ever do, you're going to have to pay us because we're hosting it. And Microsoft don't want to do that. Epic didn't want to do that. That was the whole battle. Do you want to use our store? You're going to have to pay us. But we don't want to, huh? Sorry. That's how business is done. But they were doing it with their Xbox app all the time. You buy a game on Xbox, Microsoft gets a cut. They give the publisher theirs, but they get a piece. You go buy a bunch of battle passes, you go buy Fortnite skins, Microsoft getting 10%, 20%, but they're getting a piece. That's what keeps their business going. As soon as you offer other storefronts, all those little pieces that you get none of that. The only time you get a piece is if it's your game. So that means your entire success will have to rely on your library and your sales. Are people throwing their games in Game Pass? Nope. So do you want to lose money to spend money to give it to them? Nope. That's why Steam it's a recipe, peanut butter and jelly. Ron M says the gaming division would have to go under major reorganization separate from Microsoft to even have a chance. And exactly, Ron. Like, that's why I said this whole thing for them, it's a Phil failure with a PH. And I know Phil probably not even running this shit anymore, but Satya has no clue. But this is what they're trying to do. But it is like every way you look at it, they and all these years saying how, like, you know, Game Pass is not sustainable and their own games are going to carry it and not having games. It's all proof that it's true, because they are now at the cusp right here, depending on their direct competition to either to grow the business or to sustain the business. So that means all those Game Pass numbers, all that growth, all that grab ass and meant nothing, because they're still here in a dire situation between a rock and a hard place. They can't even fall back on their Xbox console because their Xbox console, there's nobody home. It's done. They went poking around the neighborhood so much they came back. The wife and kids moved out. There's nobody home anymore. Phil came back to an empty house. He's like, oh shit, where's everybody? Where are my fans? They're gone, Phil. You chased them away because you were too busy dealing with all the other horse shit. Little Timmy on a phone somewhere sitting at McDonald's wants to play Gears on a touchscreen. Apparently he doesn't. Well, once you found that out, you came back home and guess what? Everybody gone. Oh, well, we're going to go to PC then. Good job. Steam is waiting for you. We're going to do handhelds. They haven't touched that market yet. You're right. You did it first. But you did it wrong. You came out there with a half-ass product. You just slapped Windows on a 7-inch screen and thinking like, oh yeah, we did it. You didn't do shit. Xbox Nobody's Home Edition. That's right, Buck Rogers. Oh shit, there's nobody home. You came back like the what is the meme of what's his name? Of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when he's sitting there in just the rug and he's looking back. He's like, oh, where is everybody? And they're gone, Phil. You were messing around with Timmy over with the fry oil over at McDonald's, thinking that he wanted to play Gears on a 5-inch screen with streamed over goddamn 720p goddamn Satya streaming. With some sort of strap-on that he bought, the Razor Rikishi. Yeah, apparently that didn't work out. Oh, well, I'm done here at McDonald's. Let me go back to my Xbox fans and sign some asses. They're gone, Phil. Signed and sealed and delivered. You delivered them to PlayStation and PC. They're not home anymore. They're gone. That's it. So now what are you doing? Handhelds, that's the new shit. Get out there, Gandalf. I think we'll deal. Here's some more. Yo, nobody cares. We're done. Steam is waiting for you with open arms, bitch. Lenovo can't wait. Like I said, the comparisons are going to be crazy. And they're shaking in their boots. They already lost Chrome OS, the budget laptop, the netbook Microsoft can never do. Consumers are ready for a future beyond Windows. Now, I agree. I don't think there's going to be a massive shift. This is not the year of Linux. I agree with this. But I do think that it is going to carve the way and show people options beyond Windows that are more optimized and more value for the dollar. Wow. The same hardware gets better battery life and better performance for less money than this. Dude, that is a consumer's goddamn dream. That's going to be, whoa, wait a second. The Windows version is $100 more and gives you less battery life and less frames than the Steam OS, which is running games better. Granted, we see this right now. We see this with the PlayStation. The PlayStation 5 was a weaker hardware than the Series X, yet games ran better and performed better than the thing that had more teraflops for the same price. We saw this the previous generation with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. The Xbox One was actually more expensive and ran games at 900p, where the PlayStation was $400 and ran them better. And now it's going to happen to them again in the handheld space, where the Steam OS is going to use the same hardware and have better battery life, better performance, better sleep mode, better hibernation. Because that's another thing with mobile. Because that experience, and that's it. Like, and I was watching some more, reviews and stuff. And one of the things too that's interesting is that person said, like, hey, I play PC games, and when I'm at my setup with my widescreen, my ultra wide screen, and my 4080 cooking or 4090 cooking, and I'm engaged, I'm like here. Yeah, I want I want to tinker and make sure I get the best performance. But when I'm on my Steam Deck or when I'm on my handheld PC gaming, that is I'm sitting on my couch, I'm all laid back. I just want to get through some games and get through some stuff. Like I could compete a little bit and stuff like that, but I'm not going to say, hey, I want to go like with a crazy kill death ratio and rocking. Like, you're not super engaged. And I feel the same way. Like, when I want to engage in a game, like, I'm going to go to the Grindhouse Theater and play. But if I just want to just get some progress done and just progress the story and game kind of like as like a main thing, but also have a show on or watching a game or doing something, it's a different experience. And you just want it to work. You don't want to be in there tinkering and dealing with battery lives and all this stuff. You just want it to work. It's even though it's the same game. Same thing with the Portal. Like, you just want to turn it on and just play. Like, you don't want to have to deal with any, like, you're not there to say, I'm going to dominate tonight, like on my 8-inch screen. It's a different experience. It's a different need. So you want that thing just to boot up and play. It's usually you have a couple hours or you have a half hour to game. You don't want to sit there and wait for Windows updates. You don't want to do that stuff when you're clicking on that handheld. You want to just boot it up and get into your game. And if Steam OS is going to give you that experience, and even when you hit that button and you got to go answer the phone or do something, you don't come back and see 10% of your battery done because Windows went into sleep mode and is now downloading Windows updates while your handheld is off. Your handheld is in sleep mode and it's downloading shit, or it's trying to sustain the RAM or whatever else it's doing, killing your battery life. That when you boot it back up again, you're like, oh, damn. I just lost 30% of my battery life because I had my Windows in sleep mode. You got to change it to hibernation mode. And then does it have a good hibernation mode? And Asus and all of them have to come up with their own configurations to fix Windows. That's the thing. Like Asus and Legion, all of them trying to do things to change the Windows system from killing itself. Like, the Windows system is hurting itself. It's because it thinks it's running on a plugged-in PC that has constant power. Windows is dumb. It's stupid. That's why you need a battery optimized. And they still, to this day, never made Windows Laptop Edition. a Windows optimized for batteries. They never did. All these goddamn years of laptops, Windows never addressed a battery optimized low power thing. They tried to sell Windows on ARM. That shit sucks. Never made it. Instead, it's the full-blown Windows power hungry bitch and all. And then you gotta go in there like a goddamn Ninja Dakota, turning off shit. Like, oh, well, I gotta turn this off and disable this process and do this and battery this. And then I'm gonna click on Windows Greenleaf battery saver and that will turn off some processes and that will dim my screen. And you're fighting with Windows against itself. You're fighting with Windows. Stop doing this to yourself. You're killing the battery. You're killing yourself. Windows, cut it out. And you have to become the savior. Like, stop killing the battery. Let me turn off all the shit you turned on. All these years. And then they think, oh, well, now what? 7-inch screens? We'll just slap the full-blown Windows operating system on it. Still learning. And then Steam comes around going, you guys want to play some games, bitch? You want to play some games? And Steam comes out there, it's like, hey, you go, play some games. We put the thing in, you turn off on the Steam Deck, you come back, the battery's the same. It puts it in a low-powered state mode, everything saves. Perfect, they're done. Turn it on, beautiful. Windows is there fighting for its life. It's like, well, we're in sleep mode, I better download some Windows updates while I'm at it. It's like, no, bitch. Well, I'm going to try to tap into that OneDrive. You know what? Those OneDrive, we got to sync your files. No, don't sync shit. My save files are not even in OneDrive. I don't care about having my photos on a 7-inch screen. Oh, well, we're in sleep mode. We got to do something. Send some emails to Phil Spencer. I don't know. Do something. You know? Windows, we're plugged in. We got full power. No, you don't. No, you don't. But Steam is there going, now. You want to play some games. And this is what I mean, grinders. It's the same thing like PlayStation did the same thing. That's why you look at Mark Cerner, the Cerninator comes out there. We've optimized the SSD with ray tracing and the PSSSR. That's the Cerninator right now. I told you to listen to me from day one. I put in special SSD. And the PlayStation is wonderfully optimized to run the best games from the best developers in the world. And that's why the PlayStation just runs your games. Microsoft got some bullshit like, well, we got quick boot. Some games do it, some games don't. We got quick resume. But now it's a feature now? I thought it was a system feature. Well, not everybody uses it. We'll check in later. Like, same thing with Nintendo. We got the weakest goddamn hardware, and they're like, yo, we're running games 12 years later on that shit. Because it's made for games and for gamers. That's the thing. Like I said before, Steam is gaming. Nintendo is gaming. PlayStation is gaming. Xbox is Microsoft is they're for work. You want to do some goddamn spreadsheets? Call Satya. You want to make a PowerPoint? There you go. You want to play some games? Ugh. Move on. But that's the thing. They make the hardware to play the games. And that's why the SteamOS thing. Hey, and what's crazy is that they have the years, grinders, the years of experience to learn feedback, but they never act on it because they're hearing you, but they're not listening to you. Microsoft attempts to illuminate the issues of the Windows-powered handheld, lacking as they are, shows that the company is aware of the problem in that form factor. And I wonder if SteamOS will start jumping into gaming laptops or desktops. And we've seen more of these crazy kind of functional laptop gaming handhelds, all this stuff. It's a new evolution of mobile PC. But meanwhile, we have our phones. But anyway, it's definitely a new thing. And a lot of them are using gaming as the way to get into these new form factors. They are talentless, Ron. Like it is. Microsoft is a shit show. And they all blow smoke up your ass. And that's why they never get developers on board. That's why developers just roll their eyes on them going, oh, yeah, what's the new, AI is very big. Dude, circles are running around you already in AI. You already fumbled Copilot. You repurposed the Copilot button. Nobody wants screenshots of their history and all this other fubbub. They don't want it. No, thank you. But this is the problem that they face. And they know it's coming. That's why all of a sudden they're doing stuff. That's why all of a sudden they're coming out going, hey, I think we're going to see more later this year and all this other stuff. What am I thinking? Went the Horizon? What the hell is this thing? I don't want vertical. Oh, damn thing was messed up. That's why all of a sudden they're getting out there trying to damage control what's coming.
25. It's coming.
It's coming for all of them, and they know what's coming. And what's crazy is that they spent $80 billion. $80 billion, and they're sitting on all these IPs, all this stuff. And they know that they spent a lot of money, and they're going nowhere with it. That's the problem. Because people are really competing with them in spaces where they already were established, and Microsoft could have really made a proper venture and really cared and really did this and made it the place, but they never did. Just like when they talked about PC gaming back in the day, and they just neutered that shit. They're like, yeah, we're done with that PC gaming. They found no success. Then all of a sudden they had Xbox, and they're like, oh, well, we'll do it here. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, let's get back into PC gaming again. And by that time, Steam was like, bitch, we're here. Sorry. We moved everybody over to digital. It was crazy on PC gaming. It was every game had an installer. It was, you know what? Steam unified it all. Thanks. You did nothing for it, Microsoft. You just let it go burn. Steam came in and fixed it. Just like Play Night fixed the controller interface. Just like Asus and Legion fixed it. You left it all to rot. And other people did your job. And now you're trying to come back and go, oh, now we care. Now we heard you. No, you ain't heard shit. You still suck. And people have come by and done better than you because you didn't care. And like everything else, if you don't care, then we don't care. And if the developers and publishers don't care, then the consumers are not going to care either. And you're just a de facto kind of just like, yeah, it's there. We'll deal with it. And that's the way they roll. And they know it's coming. They know SteamOS is coming, and it is going to get them in the handheld space, I think. And I can't wait to see like how the Legion the Legion Steam version and the Windows version compare. It is going to be very, very interesting. And you don't think Lenovo and all of them are watching so that your Legion Go 3 may only have a Steam version. They may neuter, they may drop off the Windows version going, you know what? Our Steam version did so much better. We're just going to do Steam, and Windows sucks again. They're all going to be looking, and Windows knows this. Microsoft knows this. That's why they got to make a valiant push to address the concerns of Windows for this decade that's been going on, and they had opportunities because Steam is lighting a fire under their ass. And when Steam said, we're going to allow our OS to be out there, that's when Microsoft said, uh-oh. Change his name. Xbox Gandalf. Get over here, Xbox Gandalf. Change his name to the Vice President of Next Generation. Do something. Do something. Do something.
Prepare ship! Prepare ship for ludicrous speed! Fasten all seatbelts! Seal all entrances and exits! Close all shops in the mall! Cancel the free-range circus! Secure all animals in the zoo!
Do something. That's what they said. They said Steam is doing, do something. because they're going to beat us at our own game. And Michael says, are these Steam Deck knockoffs more powerful? Yeah, Michael, they are. They got a higher resolution screens. They got more RAM in them. They are going to be more powerful than the Steam Deck because right now they are, but they got Windows holding them down. And when it's crazy is that you compare it and you see SteamOS actually holding its own with a lower resolution screen and less hardware. It's almost like the Switch in the sense of how the Switch could kind of like, it's optimized for its stuff. It's exactly how the PlayStation was against the Xbox. They're throwing brute force at it because to compromise all the overages in Windows and wind up getting less battery life than with a bigger battery than Steam Deck because a Steam Deck is more optimized for the hardware. So now you're taking the optimized software and putting it on more powerful hardware. You got basically a Steam Deck Plus. And they know that. A higher resolution Steam Deck. You know that. And that's what's happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if SteamOS on those, and then also you could put SteamOS on, they're going to make it free and just put it on anybody's handheld. And Microsoft can't compete with free, especially when they're trying to make money. Especially in the gaming business. This is the problem that they got. They're already fighting. It's like the tortoise and the hare. Microsoft was the hare running like all confident going, oh, we got it. And then somebody else comes and Microsoft's like, oh, we'll take a break here. We'll give them some fluff up their ass. We'll tell them we're updating it. We put a game bar. And they're the hare. Tortoise and the hare. Classic story. There you go. Classic tale. Microsoft's sitting under the tree. And meanwhile, you got SteamOS plowing ahead. Now, I wouldn't even call Steam the tortoise. The Steam's like another hare. It's just running ahead. But Microsoft's stopping to smell the roses, signing asses, signing autographs, shipping out Phil. Oh boy, Mickey Mouse, Phil Mouse. Meanwhile, Steam is cooking. Steam is cooking, building the library. PlayStation cooking, Nintendo cooking, everybody cooking. Microsoft's like, oh, we're here first. Everybody cooking. And they're all passing them. Phew, right by them. And Microsoft's like, uh-oh, we're behind now. What happened? Well, you were jerking around. Because you really didn't give a shit about the race. But now all of a sudden competition came over. And now that's why competition is very important. Competition, and we've heard it in the interviews. Two big fights, Fraser Ali, everybody, the big knock, and we benefited from entertainment. That's why the competition is important. It lights a fire under their ass. So now SteamOS showing up in these things. All of a sudden, Microsoft's like, well, we got to fix that Xbox app. It's like, shh. Meanwhile, your customer has been telling you for the last 2 years you got to fix that Xbox app. The Xbox fans before that were telling you that Xbox app sucks. The server downloads, everything sucks. What are you doing? But you said you were listening, you were learning. And you got nothing. You did nothing. You let it sit there, rot. And that's what you do, man. And now, the fear of Steam is coming. And Linux. Now you got a new competitor, especially in the handheld space. I don't think desktops are there yet, but I think the handheld space will be carved out by SteamOS. And I think these OEMs will definitely get bosom buddies with Steam, especially we see how this goes. And that is a complete Xbox skip and Microsoft skip. And like I said, of all times, this might have been a side piece. This might have been a nice venture from Microsoft and the Windows handheld. And if they think they're going to try to get Windows on ARM on a handheld, dude, Windows on ARM is compromised out the ass. And if people are willing to deal with the unoptimization of Windows on ARM and the unoptimized apps and things running through some sort of emulation, they're just going to go to a Steam OS then. Because the whole strength of Microsoft of the compatibility is removed when you go to Windows on ARM. Because Windows on ARM is a compromise. It's an emulation. It's all your apps that you run natively are running through an emulation, which is taking more processes away. And yeah, you may get better battery life and stuff like that because it's a debloated Windows running on a mobile chip. but you lose your compatibility, which is the ultimate reason why people use Windows. And if people are willing to deal with Windows and compromise their compatibility, then guess what? They're open to anything. They may even go back to Mac. They may even go to Mac OS or Steam OS if it's sitting there. Well, Windows, and there you go. Windows on ARM, once an advantage for Microsoft, they thought it would be, has now become a possible Achilles heel. Because now the compatibility, the reliability, the legacy has to be rebuilt with Windows on ARM. Through emulation, through all these caveats. So that legacy that you've been hanging on to, the reason why people default to Windows, is gone. And now people are open to other operating systems. Well, if I got to deal with all the bullshit in Windows on ARM, I might as well just go to another operating system. Hey, Steam, how you doing? That's what I mean. They are in a rough spot, especially in gaming. Gaming, they are cooked. They are roasted. They are roasted because they are between a rock and a hard place, and we don't know which way it's going to go. But I'm telling you right now, those OEMs, they'll be looking, and they'll be comparing apples to apples. And Microsoft is going to be sitting there going, ugh, what are we going to do about it? And like I said, more so, I think, in the handheld space, because that's where Steam now holds that power. Especially in the last 3 years. And Windows is the one that's going to be in deep doo-doo. And you already see it. These OEMs adopted Steam OS already this year without any kind of trial run or anything. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll do a Steam OS version of our hardware. Wow. Microsoft had to go begging on their knees to probably get the Asus to do something. And they think that they're going to stick an Xbox sticker on something and fool people? I don't think so. And know what else is pretty funny? And one last point I want to make too is that, guess what? For gaming for everybody, guess what? There is no native Xbox app, Game Pass app on Steam. Isn't that funny? This is an Xbox, that is an Xbox. Even GeForce put a native app on Steam OS to use GeForce Now. But not Xbox. Microsoft did not put an Xbox app. You can't do Xbox cloud streaming on a Steam Deck. There's no official app on Linux. You have to do some Proton enhancements and some back-end bullshit. Because natively, you can't just go to the Steam store and download the Xbox app. Funny. For a company that's open and no barriers and open to everybody, why wouldn't you put your app natively in Steam OS or on Steam Windows either? Why? Because that's taking money out of Big Daddy Satya's pocket. They got to have it tied to Windows. So this walled garden that they say that they broke the walls down, they're still trying to build a platform. That's the problem with them. They're not honest with the consumer. They pretend to look like this savior, but they're not. They're doing the same exact shit. Exactly, Nick. It's still in beta, too. They still do the same exact shit that everybody else does. They're still trying to build a Windows platform, but also putting their games everywhere else or putting their services on other things. But they still want to build this world. How do you do that? We don't do walled gardens, but we got, we won't put our app on Steam. Well, why? You put it on a goddamn MetaQuest. You put it on a goddamn Samsung TV and an LG TV. Why is the Xbox cloud streaming not on a Steam Deck? And you got to sideload it or do some friggin' Proton and rigmarole. Why is it not a native download? Why can't you go to Steam and just download Xbox Cloud Gaming? Why? Why don't you support Linux? Windows? Microsoft? Why? Oh, really? Oh. Interesting. So we'll see. But it just shows that, the chivalry that they're practicing or that they're promoting may may not be what they're talking about. But they're worried because they know it's coming. It is coming.
Is that a deal?
No, I keep losing at deals, and I don't want to make a deal anymore. I am leaving, and you can't stop me. I'm packing my bags. Very calm down until this. A bump in the road comes, and she's be sarcastic. I won't be coming back until Saturday when you leave. She's going to try to stop me, but she can't run in those little high heels. Never see this face again.
And there it is, grinders. They keep losing at deals. Well, we can't wait to see when all this starts rolling out later this year. And I think June is going to be another bloodbath. It's going to be very interesting. We got a lot of games coming out. Mind's Eye is also coming out in June, which is cooking. And you got supposedly the Switch 2 launching there. We got the Xbox talking about probably Gears coming to PlayStation. Who the hell knows?
Like zoinks.
Who the hell knows? But hit that like button, grinders, and let you know that there are the 3 emojis that we're on our way to 77 more. We need about 60 more or so VIPs. You're going to get your juicy glazed one. I don't even know where my sound bites are. Where'd I put them? Uh-oh. I thought I had them. Hold on. I'll get them for you. So when you get this emoji, this song comes here for this one, just to kind of what's going on here. So we got the juicy one. Where's my juicy glazed? There it is.
Juicy, glaze, double glazed blackberries on top of Janky Jones. Pancake, shake my head, Xbox marketing.
It's coming.
That's your emoji 1. Emoji 2.
ET better move over. Xbox says make some room. It's coming. Bury Xbox in the ET hole. Bury Xbox in the ET hole.
There's your second emoji. And the third one. Here it is. No, wait, this one.
You gon' learn the hard way. Hickoriness, better watch out when you fly too close to the sun. Just ask Phil, he got permanent tan lines on his ass.
There you go, grinders. Those are your 3 emojis that we'll be working towards, and you'll be voting on them. And those are the jingles that will be associated with them. So hit that like button, grinders. Thank you again for coming to this impromptu Sunday Grinds Gaming Bite. And stay tuned for the Gaming Grindhouse tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll go over the topics of the week and see if anything drops tomorrow that's worth talking about. No, they're not up for voting yet, Michael. We got to wait till we get a little closer to the emoji, and then I'm going to put them up for voting. Probably this week I'll be putting them up there. So thank you again, grinders. Hit that like button, share it out, and I'll catch everybody tomorrow. Good gaming. And also, by the way, I'm going to be covering the VR game with Hitman, PSVR 2. I got that, so I'm going to be checking that out there. But those are your 3, just to give you a heads up, and I'll wait to the emojis. And definitely check out the show from Friday, and also the incredible episode 200 on Monday as well. Good night, everybody. Talk to you later.